pass stolen. He gets it off in time. Got it! Haliburton!
Welcome back to Tape Don't Lie. Cam Smith, Tim Doyle. And Tim, we focused on Cole Anthony, who's a dynamic point guard in the NBA draft. Let's focus on another dynamic point guard and Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State. Only a sophomore, but I compare him to Steve Urkel, right? He was Steve Urkel, didn't get a lot of love coming out of high school, wasn't a top 150 recruit, all of that stuff. And then when he went to Iowa State, he transformed into Stephon Urkel. And that's what I love about his game, is that he's able to grow it and be one of the better point guards that we've seen in college basketball.
I love that you hit me with the Stephon, and I'll take it a step further. I'll put a little Steph in it. And he shoots the ball a lot like Steph Curry. It's a set shot, and that's because he's never been strong. He admitted that he used to shoot the ball basically from his hip, and even though the shot is kind of funky, it goes in at a high clip, over 40% as a sophomore at Iowa State. Hey, we knew Cole Anthony was going to be a stud, and obviously having a dad who's a former pro, he got a lot of pub. But this was a guy in Haliburton that wasn't even a top 150. That's right, 150 recruit. He goes to Iowa State, and he has blown up.
Tim, let's get into Tyrese Haliburton's passing ability. It's all about the vision. You got to be able to see the floor as a point guard, and he averaged 6 assists on the season, only as a sophomore. So that speaks to how special he is.
Yeah, when I talk to scouts, Cam, they keep mentioning the same words over and over again. Basketball IQ, making guys better. And to average 6 assists in the college game, that is a big, big number. I love the way he plays in the pick and roll. I think he still needs somewhere improvement as far as getting lower and turning the corner. Are you scared he's so skinny, though?
I think it works, and I love the comparison for myself with Haliburton to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? We see how well he's played with the OKC Thunder and when he started his career with the Clippers. So I like them in that comparison where they're lean, they have that length, they're both about 6'5", a little bit taller than that, and they can see the floor. And that's what we're seeing in all these passes here. And this breakdown of this play here is phenomenal because he's waiting for his big guy to really start to dive. So the defense is focused in on Haliburton, and he's in his head saying, okay, come on, go ahead and dive. I'm waiting for you. And he gets that pass to him for that deuce.
Yeah, I mean, and now basketball IQ and just understanding the game was really an old school thing. He has kind of that old school feel to his game and understanding, all right, we're going to draw the defender. We're going to get him out of the comfort zone. Where can I get 2 guys? And as a point guard, when you're dribbling like this, you're like, come on. All right, perfect. Here you are. Now I got 2 on me. That means someone is open. This is a perfect breakdown of that.
Yeah, we're both drooling at this video, man, because we're both former point guards and guys that had the ball in their hands a lot. And we always waited for those bigs to roll. Like, come on, all right, come on, let's go. So you get that ball out of your hands because we're trying to make others shine. And that's the great thing about Haliburton. He's a team-first guy. And that pass right there was phenomenal. Udoka Azubuike had no clue what he was doing on this pick and roll situation.
You know, when you're a passer, you got to make kind of unorthodox pass. And what makes this pass so perfect is the way he just leaves it. Like so many times you get up in the air and then you want to like throw the ball like 150 miles an hour, like because you know the guy is open. He almost just like drops it down, just like, okay, here's a simple bounce. It's going to eventually get to you. And that's going to be an easy play. This guy, the upside is through the roof. I understand why he's not going to be a top 5 pick, but we may look back on this draft and be like, oh, this guy has all the potential and he's just rounding into form. I know the jumper is going to scare some people, but it goes in. But the basketball IQ is off the charts. And I think knowing how to play now is actually more advantageous than being an elite level athlete. This guy's a stud.
There's one thing to be able to pass the ball, Tim, but it's another thing to be able to score the basketball. And Tyrese Haliburton averaged 15 points per game in his time at Iowa State in his sophomore season. Remember, he fractured his wrist in February, so his season was cut short like a lot of players for this year. But he's a guy that, again, if he has space, he can do things just like that and knock down that set shot.
Yeah, and look how easy he shoots it. Now, this takes a long time. If you count Mississippi's, it's like 4 Mississippi's, all right, to take it off as far as get that shot off. But it goes in. Shot 42% as a sophomore at Iowa State. And I'm okay with shooting like this in the NBA because the line is deeper. And Cam, you and I play at the college level. We're unfortunate enough to play at the NBA level. Have you seen how far an NBA three is? You ever walk on a court, you're like, man, this is deep.
It is way too far, a lot way further than I realized when I first tried to attempt my first NBA three when I had enough strength to get it up there. But that's what's going to make him special at the next level, Tim, is we know that the NBA game is about floor spacing. You space that floor, and you have guys like Haliburton that can knock down shots just like that, be able to showcase what he can do. And this is another tidbit to his game. He can use that 6'5" frame and really power and tower over defenders to get shots up and score in that mid-range.
Yeah, this is the fear, though, of GMs is because he's so skinny, everyone's going to try to play bully ball with him. You know what I mean? Push him out of his comfort zone. So how do you get buckets other ways? And I love the way his body control, he just has such a great feel for the game. I think those are his best assets, his feel, his passing, and the fact that he can make shots. But yeah, being slight of frame, you got to get creative with your finishes.
Yeah, we talked basketball IQ, and that last play on that layup, they needed a basket for them in that Kansas game on the road. But this is him attacking the lane with that body control again. 6'5", yes, but he knows that he doesn't have to explode to the rim every time. He can mix up his game and change the pace and gets that giant killer, that floater up over defenders to get a bucket.
Yeah, I think timing is everything. That's why I'm married, right? All my friends moved away, and then I had no one else to hang out with. So I basically had to get married at that point. But the timing of the league has shifted away from that physicality, from those Derek Harpers, from those big guards. It's getting more athletic. It's getting more cerebral. It's getting more positionless. And this is a guy who's coming in at exactly the right time. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, is a great example. I think at worst, he's Micah Carter-Williams, who was Rookie of the Year, and some may say a disappointment. Guy's still playing in the NBA. Who knows how good this guy can become because was not recruited, was unheralded, and just seems to be getting better and better. Those are the guys that I like to draft if I'm a general manager because they haven't been loved since they're 13. They're not reading all the press clippings. They're not all up in the videos. They have that drive to get better, and those are the guys that I believe succeed the most at the next level.
All right, Tim, as a point guard in the NBA, you have to be the head of the snake defensively. And with Tyrese Haliburton coming in as a point guard, what do you see from him defensively that, one, can be able to translate from the college game to the NBA that's positive, but also some things that he needs to work on? I know that play right there is definitely a positive on the help side with the block.
You know, and I think this gets back to his feel, just understanding like, all right, Big's not going to throw that ball out. I'm going to come down and help out on this play. I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is his length. I mean, if he lived in a studio apartment, he could be in the bathroom cooking an egg and answer the front door all at once. Like he's got arms that just go on for. Remember Stretch Armstrong? He pulling his arms like further and further apart. And even though he's not explosive like quick, when you got arms like that, that makes up for it so much. You can play passing lanes. And I just think the biggest question mark with him is going to be strength. And he's listed at 185 pounds. I don't know about that, Cam.
I don't think he's 185, maybe knock off about 20 more pounds. But look at this effort here, Tim. This is effort of a leader, right? He gets the deflection on one end, and poor Northern Illinois, I don't know what they were doing with their scouting report because they were just lazy with these passes. But look at this effort here. That's a leader right there, making sure that the possession stayed alive for his team, and it gets back to his passing ability. That's an assist right there. So you can put one on the book for him, but those are things that help him and will be able to translate to the NBA side, a la Dennis Schroeder, as we mentioned before, a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who can really give other point guards fits on the floor.
Yeah, I think that this guy, because he wasn't getting a lot of love and wasn't recruited out of high school, those are the type of guys, like Damian Lillard went to Weber State, CJ McCollum went to Lehigh, Steph Curry went to Davidson. Like, because they weren't loved in high school, they developed this work ethic that no one believed in me, that chip on their shoulder. Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State, like they didn't go to the Blue Bloods. So there's always that work ethic to get better and better. And this is the shot I'm talking about. I mentioned Steph Curry off the top. Yes, Steph shoots in an unorthodox way. I think it's worked out pretty well for him. And it's really the same reason for both guys, because they weren't so strong growing up. They almost had to push that ball up there. He's changed his shot a little bit since he's got to Iowa State. But the biggest thing is, Cam, it goes in, and it goes in at a really high clip.
That's the most important thing. As long as the ball goes in, I don't care how it looks, make it go in the basket. And for his career, during his 2 years at Iowa State, he shot 43% from the three. So he can get shots when he needs them, especially when that ball is moving around the perimeter. Tyrese Haliburton is going to be a nice pickup for whoever drafts him in the 2020 NBA draft.